The Celtics' critical decision: keep or cut Lonnie Walker IV. With just days remaining before the start of the 2024-25 season, the Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions, are faced with a crucial decision that could directly impact their roster. The future of Lonnie Walker IV, an athletic and promising player, is at stake, and the team has until Saturday to decide whether to keep him on the roster. But why does this decision carry so much drama and suspense? The talent the Celtics need? At 25 years old, Walker is a player who fits perfectly with the Celtics' dynamic style. Known for his speed and ability to score in isolation, he thrived in his recent seasons with both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. During the 2022-23 season, he proved to be a valuable asset coming off the bench, bringing offensive strength and perimeter presence that few teams can ignore. Last season, Walker played 58 games for the Nets, all as a bench player. Averaging 9.7 points and 2.2 rebounds per game, he posted an excellent shooting percentage of 42.3% from the field and 38.4% from three-point range. With this performance, why would the Celtics hesitate to keep him? The financial dilemma behind the decision. Here's the real challenge: the financial impact. The Celtics are already over the NBA's second luxury tax threshold, meaning that every dollar spent comes with an extremely high tax rate. If the team decides to keep Walker on a veteran's contract worth $2.1 million, it would cost the team nearly $8.8 million in taxes, bringing the total to $11 million to keep a player like him as the 15th man on the roster. With such a tight budget, the question lingering in the air is it worth paying so much for a player who may not even see significant playing time? Many league experts believe the Celtics will ultimately cut Walker due to these financial implications. But is this the right decision? Does he deserve a chance? Despite the financial concerns, Lonnie Walker IV has made a strong impression in Boston. In his final preseason game against the Toronto Raptors, he scored 20 points, hitting 4 of 9 three-pointers in just 30 minutes of play. His performance caught the attention of both the fans and head coach Joe Mazzulla. Mazzulla had nothing but praise for Walker. He had a great training camp. "I liked his attitude, his work ethic, and he really adapted to our defensive system," said the coach. "He made the most of the time he had, and that's all you can ask for." While the Celtics have already waived other players from their training camp contracts, such as Ron Harper Jr., Jay Scrubb, and Hason Ward, Lonnie Walker IV is the last man standing from that group. Now, his fate rests in the hands of the front office, and time is running out. Is Boston willing to risk so much money to keep a player with so much potential? Or will Walker become yet another casualty of the harsh financial realities that championship teams must face? Skip Bayless destroys Jayson Tatum in shocking analysis. When it comes to Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics, controversial commentator Skip Bayless doesn't hold back. In a recent episode of the Pat Bev Pod podcast, Bayless dropped a bombshell that shook the NBA. According to him, the real pillar of the Celtics' success isn't Tatum, but Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, the real MVP? With his sharp words, Bayless claimed that it's Brown who truly drives the Celtics. While Tatum may be the bigger star and the more popular name, it's Brown who steals the show in the clutch moments. The most controversial point? Jaylen Brown will never be crowned MVP because Tatum stands in his way, hogging the spotlight. For Bayless, this was more than evident in the playoffs. He bluntly stated that Brown took over the team in crucial moments and was the most important player throughout the campaign. In fact, many agree with this view, which is why Brown was recognized as the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and, for some, the Finals MVP. But why then does Tatum dominate the headlines and the posters? Rivalry or partnership? Bayless raises an intriguing question: the chemistry between Tatum and Brown. According to him, the Celtics only work so well because they have two superstars who somehow manage to coexist in relative harmony. But is that peace lasting? Or are we about to see sparks fly as the fight for the spotlight intensifies? It's hard to deny that both are essential to Boston's success, but with each passing season, it becomes clearer that the public and critics are divided over who the real leader of this team is. Tatum's critical season. For Tatum, the upcoming season may be the most important of his career. If he continues to elevate his game, he could finally enter the NBA MVP conversation, and critiques like Bayless will start to fade. But if Brown keeps playing like a true superstar, the buzz around Tatum's supposed superiority will only grow. Will we see more voices putting Tatum under the harsh spotlight of criticism? This isn't the first time an NBA team has been led by two megastars, but few duos generate as much debate as Tatum and Brown. Who truly drives this team? Will the next season give us the definitive answer? Or are we heading toward yet another year of uncertainty over who deserves the Celtics throne? The historic mistake that almost destroyed the Boston Celtics. Imagine if, 10 years ago, the Boston Celtics had made the trade that could have changed the franchise's history forever. A decision that seemed like a sure bet at the time but would have catastrophic consequences today. Kevin Love, one of the most sought-after players back then, was on the Celtics' radar, and everything seemed aligned for his arrival. But what would have happened if that trade had actually gone through? The risky move? The cost of success? At the time, the Celtics still had Rajon Rondo and possessed a valuable collection of draft picks, thanks to the historic deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Love, with his floor-spacing ability and championship experience, seemed like the missing piece to elevate the team back to the top. But at what cost? What could have been? Ambitious but risky. Today, Bleacher Report's journalist Andy Bailey suggests that Kevin Love could have been an ambitious trade for the Celtics, especially now with the team already crowned champions. But would it have made sense back in 2014? The trade would have likely cost all those valuable draft picks, which later turned into Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Yes, that's right. Trading for Love would have meant giving up the two biggest stars of the franchise. Now, with a decade of success built on the talents of Tatum and Brown, we wonder, would Kevin Love have been the piece that led the Celtics to glory? Or would it have been one of the biggest disasters in recent team history, like the turbulent stint of his former teammate, Kyrie Irving? What you didn't know: LeBron was the key player. Surprisingly, the one who saved the Celtics from this potential disaster was none other than LeBron James. He was the one who pressured the Cleveland Cavaliers to acquire Love, ending any chance of Boston completing the trade. Destiny was sealed, and the Celtics followed a different path, one that led to titles, success, and an unbeatable duo. If the Celtics had risked it all for Love, where would they be today? What if? The biggest what if in Celtics history. Now, look back and think, what could have happened? What if the Celtics had pulled the trigger and made the trade? Could Rajon Rondo and Kevin Love have worked as a successful duo? Or would the Celtics have spiraled into failure? We'll never know for sure. The big question: was destiny merciful? Can you imagine a Boston Celtics without Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Would this trade have been the franchise's biggest mistake, completely altering the trajectory of one of the most successful teams in NBA history? And even more, if the Celtics had made that trade, would they have won the championship they now boast? Hey Celtics fanatics! What do you think of this news? Leave your opinion in the comments, as it's highly valued.